Tell us a little bit about the research that went behind writing the book.
There wasn't a lot of official research. There were just 30 years of thousands of hours desk side with just some of the busiest and brightest people on the planet. The material in there I used for myself first back in the early 80s as I needed help. As I started my consulting practice, I'd had so many professions, and I was a pretty good number two guy. I helped friends start businesses and did all kinds of things. And I found that they all had similar kind of issues in terms of their processes. I like to come in and say, how do we make this easier? I'm just Mr. Lazy. I said, why are you working so hard? Can't we just set up a system for that and make that work? So I found then they pay people to actually do that. They call them consultants. So I hung out my shingle. So that's how I started to do this. And then I began to cobble together. There was no big one epiphany of this. There were just little pieces. And I started to say that, well, they work for me, and then started to work with the small business and entrepreneurial clients that I had. It worked for them too. Wow. So then I started to pull all that together. So, short version of a very long story. So that's, it was a long string of epiphanettes as I began to then cobble together this model and start to see that with more and more sophisticated people with bigger and bigger areas of accountability and responsibility, this stuff really worked. And then I got into the corporate training world. That was not my background at all. Was invited by Lockheed to come in with their new head of HR back in '83 and '84 and do a pilot program with this material and craft what I was doing mostly desk side with people one-on-one and put that into a seminar format, and it worked fabulously. So then it was just word of mouth, and so that then got me into the corporate training world and watching in all the different environments that this was being applied at multiple levels, from new hires to C-suite, and watching how powerful this was and how much it affected things. So then it was just, I didn't have a big entrepreneurial or aspirational thing about building a big business or making a whole lot of money. I was more interested in the research about what this was and trying to figure that out and keeping a good job. Anyway, so little boutique sort of consulting practice is really where all that research came from. But it came from, Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours. Well, I got about 50,000, logged, sitting best, one desk side. But truly, in some of the cultures, if I name the companies, you go that their immune system would spit you out in 2 seconds if you couldn't stand toe to toe with the best. And when my stuff started to go viral inside of those environments, I went, well, I think now that I figured out what I'd figured out.